shoot 'em up, or shmup lore, Tecmo's known for making Star Force, a stellar game that enriched the hobby forever. It took Namco's wonderful Xevious and de-aged it. With the power of unshackled control and patterns just vicious enough to stay possible, it's a game of pure skill and gallantry made timeless with real music, not repetitive bleeps. But tourists seldom know they threw their hat in that ring more than once. Short story. Gemini Wing took off in 1987. By then, most people played some classic shmups, and they all sung the same song and dance. Ya shoot stuff without getting shot yourself. Galaga, Gradius, Samius. You had to try harder to garner players' attention. So, to spice it up their new game, the staff at Tecmo fused a shmup with the boundless thrills of getting your favorite flavor out of the gumball machine across the street. Somehow, through meticulous craft or sheer dumb luck, it works. But you wouldn't know without word of mouth or prolonged play. Long story. Gemini Wing's a weird two-player shmup hell-bent on standing out from other games. Unlike most its peers, it's not dark or in the deep vacuums of space, but set on the surface of a lush, vibrant world teeming with life and color. This is paradise, and trouble's breeding in it. It's being overrun by really bad bugs. You're their exterminator? You know what you gotta do? And you'll have a lot of fun doing it. The sights and zones you fly by were nothing short of fantastic back then, and still hold up pretty well today. What else can I say about them? Graphics are great, but they're nothing without a game. Thankfully, Tecmo already had a game to build off of. Just like Star Force, swarms of thugs swoop in from the skies above in formations. Only this time, it's pre-planned and not chosen by chance. You fend them off with your twin Vulcans and some slick moves all across the screen. Simply classic. But that alone won't stem the hive. You need to harness the power of the gunballs. These floating spears of death come in 5 fabulous flavors. Your first few tastes are served up random, which might lead you to believe the rest are too. But you, along with countless others, would be sorely mistaken. Outside the freebies, the only way to get more is to rack up some kills. When you kill enough pests, a carrier bug spawns around 3 to 6 balls for you. Shooting it shuffles the ball's colors, and you can collect your prize by touching the balls whenever you like. In short, there's nothing random about gumballs except those odd early drops. Better yet, hitting preset kill thresholds gives you progressively better goods, like speed-ups, points, and even extra lives. Speed-ups being extra good since you can survive without balls if you've got one. I dare say this design is pure genius. It lets you pick and choose the balls you want where they're needed, but you're also richly rewarded for using them often. The more kills you get, the more ammo you have. And the more ammo you have, the longer and harder you live. Or, if you're low, you set the blue ball off, give the screen a nice clean wipe, and be loaded all over again. It's a gratifying cycle. The bugs can't fight back if you're playing well. And even if you're hit, all is not lost. You can grab your drop gear. You're only cooked if you lose your balls. Crappy checkpoints were more common than not at this time, so the whole game is shockingly fair for 1987. In the end, you get a colorful shooter that's mechanically simple, but consistently masterful. As great an I and several others think the game is now, it wasn't always seen that way.
I have to shoot these items at them to get the next ones. If you're lucky.
I don't know about Japan, but abroad, it was somewhat shunned in its after years. So how'd Gemini Wing earn a bad rep over time? Misconception and a bad last boss. All the game's inner workings beyond the basics, everything I praised, isn't explained. The game's demo, its instruction card, and even the port's manuals don't tell you how to spawn more balls. The only people that knew were the developers, and they only told the folks that worked on the Sharp 68000 port. We only cracked the code recently. Hence, I can't fault Mike Pate for thinking he played a game of chance. Such is the nature of cryptic secrets. I would have been more open sharing crucial info, but then there'd be less intrigue. So, hindsight's 50-50 and I'll leave it at that. We know now, and knowing is half the battle. The other source of contention, the last boss, is undeniably bad. Unlike every other boss, it's not a conventional fight. Your shots bounce off its face. You have to wait a whole minute for the bug to come out, hit its butt, and move back to do it all over again before it backs up. And yes, you have to wait. Fly in too soon, and the wing smacks you across the lair. Are we having fun yet? Look, I get it. They wanted something different, like the gun balls. The boss protects itself. Ooh, ah. But there's a reason shmup bosses don't do this. It's boring. And better yet, once you reach the tail, the game can randomly spawn bugs on you, as unlikely as it is. You can just lose 50,000 points for no reason. This boss sucks. It occasionally kills my motivation to replay the game. If it wasn't here, Gemini Wing would have been great. But the rest of the lot remains uniquely good until it falls apart. Gemini Wing is a good game as is, deserving of at least a B+. You should still play it, but I won't judge you if you call it quits before winning. Before I shut my mouth, I need to give a very special thanks to 05 Pro for telling me the inner workings of the game. He's the reason I wanted to film this rant to begin with, and I would have never known how cool Gemini Wing was unless he or someone else spoke up. I can't thank you enough, man. And as for you, dear viewer, if you like the review, you can help me by telling all your friends about it. There's a big share button down below for you to keep the tapes rolling. I appreciate that, and the time you took to check me out. I'll check you all later. Live long and prosper.